Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nathan.
Welcome to episode 173 of Adventures and Mousecapades. Today we're talking about second fake spring.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
It is one day, it's sunny here outside of Seattle, and it's almost 70 degrees, and then it goes back to being 50 and rainy tomorrow. Yeah, we had this about 3 weeks ago. We had 1 or 2 nice days, and then it plunged back into the darkness.
Well, we have all the windows open to air out the house.
Yes.
And that'll change tomorrow.
It'll change tonight.
Change tonight, yes. Yeah.
Well, today we're thrilled to take you on a journey to Disney's magical private island, Castaway Cay. Imagine stepping off your Disney Cruise Line ship and onto a tropical paradise where the sun shines brightly, the waters are crystal clear, and the fun never stops. Castaway Cay is the ultimate getaway reserved exclusively for Disney guests, and it's packed with everything you need for an unforgettable adventure.
We'll dive into the wonders of Castaway Cay, from its stunning beaches to the exciting activities that await you. Whether you are looking to relax at Serenity Bay, the adults-only beach, or splash around with the family at the Castaway Cay Family Beach, there's something for everyone. We'll share the island's fascinating history and how Disney transformed it into a dream destination, complete with beloved character meet and greets, thrilling water sports, and mouth-watering dining options.
Get ready to uncover the secrets of Castaway Cay with insider tips on making the most of your visit. We've got a special guest on later to share their favorite experiences and magical moments. Plus, we'll give you all the info you need to plan your perfect day on this enchanting island. So sit back, relax, and let us whisk you away to the sun-soaked shores of Castaway Cay. That didn't rhyme. Oh, well.
Was it supposed to?
No.
Okay.
Where Disney dreams come true.
TM?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, Castaway Cay is located in the northern Bahamas. It's about 160 miles due east from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The island's about 1,000 acres, and it was first settled back in 1783 when about 1,500 British loyalists relocated from New York City to the Bahamas after the Treaty of Paris was signed, which, as we all know, officially ended the American Revolutionary War that, England lost literally like 2 years prior. But this finally sealed the United States' hard-won independence.
Gorda Cay, as it was originally known, is the location of several shipwrecks from as early as the mid-1600s. Coins, bullion, and other treasures have been discovered nearby, and rumors of some items washing ashore still happen to this day. Literally, we overheard someone talking about it when we were there just a couple months ago. And in the late 1950s, a Trinidadian businessman and aviation enthusiast purchased 150 acres on the island and built a 2,400-foot airstrip. Unfortunately, his plans to do more with the island were dashed away just a few years later when it was effectively taken over by some less than savory entrepreneurs, shall we say.
Yeah, entrepreneurs. That's
Yes.
That's totally the right thing. Anyway, a couple decades of illicit international cargo shipments, we'll call them, through the island ensued until it was finally stopped and the island was seized by authorities in the early 1980s. Once controlled by the Bahamian government and cleaned up a little bit, the island was used as a filming location by Disney's Touchstone Pictures studio for scenes in the Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah movie Splash. It's also seen action in Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. For several years, the Flying Dutchman was even anchored in the bay until the wind and waves finally did in the boat and she was dismantled.
We have pictures of that.
We do, from
Yeah.
back in the day when it still was there. It was really
Yes.
cool.
It was. Actually, I saw a picture where you used to be able to go onto the boat. Like
Oh,
when it
wow.
was first there.
Wow. Well, our first trip was back in 2009, and they weren't letting you on at that point. So, wah, wah. Well, let's talk about Castaway's Disney era, so to speak.
That would be in 1997, as Disney was preparing to launch the Disney Cruise Line that next year. The company signed a 99-year lease for the entire island and spent 18 months and $25 million constructing what we know today as Castaway Cay. Having a private island for cruise guests was an industry first, although many other companies have followed suit. Notably, Royal Caribbean has developed Coco Cay. No.
Yeah, they call it Cay, even though it's Key.
Okay.
Because they call it Perfect Day.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Anyway, Coco Cay into a multi-ship destination about 30 miles to the southwest of Castaway. For those wondering, Disney's newest private destination is Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point, all the words, on the southern tip of the populated Bahamian island of Eleuthera, roughly 130 miles to the southeast.
Well, back to Castaway. Disney added a pier, which was later extended to support the larger Disney Dream class ships, and dredged out a 1,700-foot channel to allow direct access for guests without the need of tender boats. Still, just a single DCL ship can be accommodated at Castaway at any given time. Today, there are just a few days a month when a ship is not at Castaway, with regular stops from every current ship in the fleet but the Wonder, who has been based solely in the Pacific for the last few years.
Originally, there were very few, if any, permanent cast members on the island, and all of the operations on the island were staffed by crew members from the visiting Disney Magic or Disney Wonder. About 140 employees reside full-time on the island today in living quarters that were built by the company. They support operations of the island during ship visits, in addition to some of the crew from the ship helping out as well. There are also a number of staff and vendors, mostly for the excursions, who make the 10-mile commute by boat from Abaco Island to serve the guests.
Let's talk a little bit about what is on Castaway Cay that Disney has created for us. We'll start off talking about the beaches and water activities and all that sort of fun. The Castaway Family Beach has calm turquoise waters. It's perfect for swimming and sunbathing. The Family Beach is a 1,500-foot strip of beautiful sand protected by a seawall, making the lagoon the perfect spot for guests young and old. There are beach chairs and umbrellas galore. There are kind of two family beaches. It's one big long beach, but you'll hear first beach and second beach, and that goes along with the tram stops. There are 2 tram stops at this beach. And so if you hear second family beach, that's all that means. It's the furthest point from the ship that's still, furthest tram stop from the ship that's still the family beach. There is another tram stop that is all the way out at Serenity Bay. This is a 500-foot long beach that is 18 and up only. And again, it's at the far end of the island's airstrip. This beach is a little more rocky, but it's a lot more quiet. It's also not protected by a seawall, so you'll have a little bit more wave action on this northwest-facing beach.
Pelican Plunge is a water playground just off the Second Family Beach near Pelican Point. It has slides and water cannons for kids of all ages. The First Family Beach also has a climbing structure out in the water for kiddos to play on and around. You can rent floats and tubes and snorkeling gear at different locations on the family beaches.
Speaking of the lagoon, 22 acres are set aside for snorkeling. You can enjoy views of the wildlife and some hidden Disney treasures too, though not the ship. The Disney treasure, the ship, is very much above the water.
Some of it.
Okay, fair. That's a good point. Anyhow, they have sunk onto the bottom of the ocean there some statues of Mickey and Minnie and Prince Eric. I don't know why Prince Eric, but sure, whatever.
You don't?
Why? Oh, for Ariel. Haha.
Yeah, because the whole statue went down into her grotto. Yeah.
I forgot. My bad. Anyhow, there's also an old ride vehicle from Dumbo the Flying Elephant. There's Boo's Door from Monsters, Inc. And there's even one of the old Nautilus ride vehicles from the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride. Of course, there are also opportunities for parasailing, kayaking, pedal boats, stingray encounters, and a whole lot more.
On-shore amenities, onto this little section here. One of our favorite places to be on Castaway is in a private cabana. These are available for rent, and they often go very, very quickly. So make sure that you are on your A game when your port adventure booking window opens up before your cruise. At the end of the family beach, there are 20 family cabanas that accommodate up to 10 guests, plus one grand family cabana that fits up to 16. At Serenity Bay, there are 6 cabanas that can accommodate up to 10 guests each. I really thought those were smaller.
So the thing to note here is that when you look at these cabanas online, the family cabanas will say that they are 6 up to 10. The Serenity Bay cabanas are listed as 4 people, but up to 10. They're the same size. It's just the base price is how many people you get in. And then if you want to increase your party size, you have to pay, I think it's about $50 more per head.
Yeah.
So these are all the same. I mean, obviously the Grand Family Cabana, I think that starts at 10 people and it goes to 16 max. But basically, all the rest of them are all the same size. It's just how many people that base price gets you into there, if that makes any sense. It's also worth noting here that there are a ton of new cabanas being built kind of to the left of Serenity Bay, out there on the end of the island. This looks to be potentially some more family cabanas, though not on the family beach. Disney has not announced the specifics of the project, but we saw perhaps a couple dozen or more under construction, plus a new food pavilion next to the current Serenity Bay footprint when we were there a couple months ago. Again, we don't know if there's going to be 18 plus, or some of them will be 18 plus and others will be families. We're not exactly sure yet. Time will tell, but they're making really good progress on these. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these come online later on in 2025.
There are also several cabanas at Serenity Bay that are used by the spa for those who need a massage with natural ocean sounds in the background instead of spa music. Pretty sure there's still spa music, but you have waves indeed.
Scuttle's Cove is a supervised kids club for the littles who aren't interested in or need a break from the beach. Run by the same counselors as the kids' clubs on the ship, there's activities, games, play areas, and, shade.
Speaking of shade, Into Shade Game Pavilion is a covered spot for basketball, billiards, and ping pong.
There are bike rentals available on the island. They have both adult bikes and little kids' bikes. They even have some bikes that have training wheels on them. So just be aware of that. If that is an option that you need for your little kiddo and want to do a bike ride, you absolutely can. And there are 2 paved nature trails that branch off the runway, featuring a path through the foliage and out to a 40-foot tall observation tower. Don't worry, there are binoculars up there to help you better see the island and the ship. If you're so inclined, you can also run the Castaway Cay 5K. Castaway Cay 5K would rhyme better, but anyhow, I'm not going to argue with the English language. This is for personal pride and less guilt should you decide to buy that merch in one of the souvenir shops on the island. Speaking of, there are several shops across the island with everything from souvenirs to beach toys and, of course, sunscreen and aloe if you need it.
Getting around is pretty easy. There are trams running regularly between the ship, 2 different stops along the family beach, and then 1 out at Serenity Bay. And there are photo spots all around the island. And in the mornings, you will find many of your favorite characters out to sign autographs and pictures. There are many different places like Marge's Barges right after you get off the ship.
Yep.
Over by Mount Rustmore.
Yeah.
That's a thing. And a bunch of other spots.
Yes.
There's even a post office there that you can send wish you were here notes to your friends back at home. Just know that the postal delivery runs on island time, so it is quite likely you'll be home long before it arrives. Like maybe like a year before it arrives
Hey,
in some cases.
That was pandemic induced. Maybe.
Maybe.
I've heard it can take a month or two.
Yes.
But we did have a cruise that during the pandemic, well, right before the pandemic shut down, and we sent something, and it oh no, never mind. Wrong cruise. Okay, there's no pandemic excuse on that one.
No, it can take a long time.
It could take a long time.
Maybe you should actually send yourself a reminder note to book your next cruise.
That's the perfect excuse to go send yourself or send anyone a note from Castaway is go book a cruise and you can join here too. Let's talk about food. Lunch on the island is from 11:30 to 2. There's Cookies Barbecue and Cookies 2, TWO. These spots feature burgers, hot dogs, chicken, ribs, fish, salads, fruit, desserts, soft drinks, and of course, soft serve ice cream. There are plant-based options too, if that's what you need. There's also the same thing out at Serenity Bay Barbecue, but they do have a ribeye steak out there in addition, and that is only found on the island out at Serenity Bay Barbecue.
Let's talk bars.
Yes.
Olaf's Summertime Freeze and the aptly named Smoothies and Frozen Drinks are family beach locations with specialty drinks and smoothies. There are lots of non-alcoholic options too, though just remember, they will not serve you alcohol in a character sipper. Olaf is not going to help you get drunk.
No. There's the Conked Out Bar. This is near the shops at the family beach. It's a full-service bar. There's also the Sand Bar. That's also near the family beach. And then one of our favorite spots is the Heads Up Bar. This is out on the pier at Pelican Point. It is a fantastic full-service bar, and occasionally, if your sailing is lucky enough, they have rum tastings in the afternoons on Castaway Day. There's also just a fantastic view of the ship and the rest of the island from out there on the point. Lastly, we have the Castaway Air Bar, which is themed after airplanes and stuff because there's an airstrip on the island that is out at the end of the airstrip on Serenity Bay.
If you want, the buffet at Cabanas or Marceline Market and the pool deck food spots are also running on Castaway Day on the ships. If the weather keeps lots of people on the ship, typically a sit-down restaurant will be available for lunch as well. Other locations on board may have adjusted hours, so do be sure to check out the Navigator app for details. Room service is available as well.
And let's talk a little bit of what is going on the ship because not everybody does want to get off. So normally when Castaway is in full swing and you're in port there, the kids clubs have open houses during the day with the supervised care for the littles shifting to on-island spots. The Aqua Dunk /Duck /Mouse, this is the water slide on the ship, may have limited hours. Typically on the bigger ships, at least on the newer ones, we've seen the slide opening up as early as 9 o'clock, so kind of normal operating hours because they have a lot of lifeguards and everything available. Though on the smaller ships, especially the Magic, it's quite likely that the Aqua Dunk is not going to be running until sometime mid-afternoon. Again, just check the app for those times.
Tastings and tours and other seminars are often more limited on Castaway Day. Sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. Pools are open, as are the spa and the fitness center. Laundry rooms are also open, and this is also often a lower demand day. So if you don't want to go on the island and you want to do your laundry, have at it.
Also, I question your choices, but it's okay. Each to their own.
Yes. Just remember, this is all likely to change if the ship is unable to dock for the day. Announcements will be made and you will be able to find out what is added in the Navigator app.
Indeed. And that does happen from time to time. Unfortunately, especially in the winter months, if the wind is blowing pretty significantly, the ships do have a little bit of trouble getting into that narrow channel. And so for safety, they may avoid the island altogether and it turns into a sea day, or sometimes it's a late docking. Just be flexible and go with the flow.
Disney is very good at setting up a theme, and they have done so with Castaway as well. It's kind of themed after if there was a shipwreck and a whole bunch of castaways, they built the island structures using stuff that had gone ashore.
Yes. It's so well done. Like it's everything has a story. It's just amazing. It's a absolutely stunning place to be and great way to spend a day. All right. With all that out of the way, let's bring in one of our good friends. It's Rachel from HR. Rachel is one of our besties, and Castaway is one of her absolute favorite places on the planet. So as an expert, we wanted to make sure she had a chance to weigh in too. Rachel, how many Disney cruises have you been on, and how many stops at Castaway, roughly speaking?
Okay, so I don't know if I'm an expert by any stretch of the imagination. However, I mean, I would say at least 15 stops at Disney's Castaway.
Wow.
I'm just guessing 15 because I've probably done about 18 cruises, and some of which did not go to Castaway, but some of which went twice. So
Ooh.
there you go.
Fancy. When you think about Disney's first private island, what is the first thing that pops into your mind?
Tranquility,
Mm.
serenity. It's just so peaceful. Like you still have all of the craziness that I guess you would say is Disney, and you have that comfort level, but it's in a beach environment. So, you know, you're carrying your flip-flops and you're walking through sand, and you get to like experience just the quietness that the water brings. And I love it.
Yeah. What kind of makes it your happy place? Like what sticks out there? Is it just that disconnect?
It's the ability to disconnect. It's obviously when you're on a cruise, you can walk out on the veranda and see the water and experience that quietness. But this is like, you know, you get to put your feet in and you get to, you know, go like float in it for a little bit. And for me, that just brings it kind of like all together. But you also have like state-of-the-art restrooms right around the corner and state-of-the-art food that you can go eat for lunch. And there's all of those things that like Disney brings out to the beach for you, but you still get that beach atmosphere.
Yeah.
Toes in the water. Isn't that the song? Like toes in the water, feet in the sand. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah. What about for you though?
I grew up on the beach in Connecticut, and my grandparents lived on Cape Cod, and my absolute favorite vacation that we ever took was really one of the only vacations that I can remember growing up where we actually just took a vacation. It wasn't a visit to go see family.
Yeah.
And we had this little shack on top of a bluff, on top of the dunes on the Bayside in Cape Cod. And it had power and water, and that's it. Like there was no TV. We brought a little transistor radio. We stayed up every night, eating snacks and playing cards, and just hung out on the beach every day. And it's kind of reliving that every time I go to Castaway. I mean, I also grew up, like I said, I grew up on the ocean. So I grew up in a beach community, and I like that vibe just kind of reconnects me with childhood a bit.
Yeah. That's awesome. Alicia?
So I don't like sand.
Okay, Anakin.
The truth is out.
I'm not great with the sun either, but I love the water. I love going into the water, and I love just staying in the water. When we go to Castaway, I enjoy going in the water, obviously, and just sitting on the beach under shade, hopefully, and reading a book. I love the ambient sounds that are there and just chilling.
Yeah. We could hear from my house in Connecticut. I grew up in Old Saybrook, and we could hear, because we didn't have air conditioning, and so our windows were open 24/7 during the summer, and you could hear the screams and laughing of the kids at the beach from, you know, half a mile away where the actual beach was. And that kind of auditory memory comes flooding back, because that's the situation you're in at Castaway. You know, I don't have to be in the middle of all of the kids, but the ambiance is there, the environment's there, and it's really awesome.
And you can pick and choose what you want to do. Like,
Right.
what did I say? I've been maybe 15 times. I've done something different every time. Like, we were able to get a cabana one time. I got a cabana with you guys one time.
Yep.
I went parasailing. I have sat on the beach without a cabana, and Jack Sparrow walked down the beach, and I got my picture with Jack Sparrow. So, like, every single time is going to be different, even though it is like some people, big, small, however, what size you want to call it, it's an island, right? But
Right.
there's something different to explore every single time you go.
Yeah. Yeah. You've done so many things. Like, what is your typical Castaway day look like? Or maybe at this point, like your ideal Castaway day?
Oh, feet in the sand. I just want to get off the ship and go out and sit in a lounge chair or sit in the water, depending on the weather, right? Like that changes from time to time. Sometimes it's just really windy and you're like, I'm not about the water.
Yeah.
The first time ever, not that long ago, I waited with you guys and we didn't actually get off the ship until 2:00.
Yep.
Which was unreal for me. I was like, why? What is happening? But it was the best day. We went off. We did I think it was a mixology or a
rum
drink.
tasting.
Yeah, some sort of tasting. And then sidebar, secret, don't air this. They're not going to leave without you.
Right.
So if you want to slow roll your way back to the ship, like, I'm totally for that. I like being the last person back on board. So you just got to kind of make it your own.
Security might follow you all the way to the ship.
Yes.
That's fine. It's fine.
We may have photographic evidence of security slowly following us all the way back to the ship.
We'll make friends with security. It's fine. They're still not going to leave without me.
Exactly. Alicia, what's your favorite day? What's your ideal experience on Castaway look like?
I think I kind of said it, like playing in the ocean,
shade.
staying in the shade, reading a book, getting some soft serve. I do really like the cabana experience because then I have a non-sandy thing to sit on.
True. It is kind of next level.
The cabanas really kind of spoiled us, I would say.
Yeah.
It was, that was absolutely fantastic.
There's a hammock. There's a nice lounge chair to sit on. The water is right there. And you can get drinks really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go get them for you.
Yes.
Yeah. And they bring them to you.
Right.
Some of the other things. So I have done the 5K on the island back when they did the original one where you got the medal and you did it and it was timed. So I've done that. We've also done bike riding, like I said, the parasailing, but we've also done yoga. And I will say, like, if you've never done it before, why not do it on a beach in the middle of nowhere? Like, it was very relaxing, and yet you were right there on the beach. So you can't beat that. What about you, Nate? What's your favorite?
I really think the cabanas are it. Like, give me a cabana. That is my ideal day on Castaway. At the same time, when we were there just a couple months ago, we didn't do a darn thing all day. Like, we sat out on the deck outside the Castaway Air Bar and just chatted and had a couple drinks, but didn't go insane. But it was just so relaxing. It was kind of perfect weather. I mean, it wasn't perfect go swimming at the beach weather, but it was like 70 degrees, a good strong stiff breeze. So you weren't hot, you weren't cold. It was just, it was the perfect time to just be outside and
like Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly. I don't, it's funny. We were talking before we hit record and I don't remember back when we sailed like with Caitlin when she was really young, or maybe even Sterling. I don't remember hanging out on the family beach and not having a cabana. I'm sure we did it.
Oh yeah, we did.
I guess I have selective memory because I have blocked that out of my memory. So Castaway is Cabanaville for me, at least.
Yeah.
When we can get it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There are some days when it's like it's god awful hot. Like you're, make sure you take precautions and make sure you have your sunscreen on before you get off the ship. And yes, there are trams, and sometimes the tram lines get long, so you just want to walk it. We've walked it before, and then I was like, oh my gosh, now I'm tired. Because you're carrying all of your stuff with you, like you're going to a beach day, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to walk 20 feet. You're walking for the long haul.
Right.
So, just kind of plan out your day for what you want. But the family beach is great. There's plenty of space.
Yeah.
The servers make their way around. So, again, you make friends with a server, but you can also hear like the live band, and they have character meet and greets and stuff that you can even hear that from the beach.
Yeah.
So you really needed to meet Daisy Duck and you hadn't yet, you can hear it on the loudspeaker, and you can run over and take your picture. So it's got its pluses and minuses too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What is your opinion of the lunch buffet at Castaway?
Okay, so
sounds like mine.
I think they've made some improvements. You don't just need a cheeseburger and a hot dog, right?
Yeah.
They've upped their game a little bit. I think the salad selection, even like the cold, like coleslaw and potato salad and things like that, there are more options, but you kind of have to be creative. Like Bill's always a fan of, I'm going to go get this crazy bun that's for one other meal, and I'm going to put this type of sandwich on it, and I'm going to, however, make it a salad or make it whatever you're going to make. The quality of the food is okay. Like I'll say it's still Disney, so you're going to get a good meal. You just got to kind of think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's edible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Same. Yeah.
But I will say this too. If all you've had is kind of artsy fartsy food on the ship all week, right? And you've been exploring and doing other things, sometimes you just need a cheeseburger.
Right.
And so it might be the best meal of your week. I don't know.
There is that, twice at Paulo, and then you hit Remy in 1923 or Triton's or something like that. And you're just like, can I just get a hot dog? That would be great.
Like it's kind of like a grilled cheese, can I just have a hot dog? And then it's the best hot dog you've ever had.
Exactly. All right. So when we were there back in February, we saw DCL building a couple dozen or so new cabanas. And
I did. I took pictures for you.
Yes. Thank you very much. my knee was not in a state where walking on sand was a good idea. So we know a bunch of changes are coming. Other than better cabana availability, are there other improvements you'd love to see Disney make to Castaway?
I've also done a lot of Royal Caribbean cruises.
Okay.
And their island is called Castaway Cay.
Yeah.
If you've never been, go. I will say Castaway Cay is on a totally different level.
Mm-hmm.
And I am assuming that they did their research, and that's going to be a little bit more like Lookout. But there are some things missing. And I'll be honest with you, right? Like they need more kind of like secluded areas for different options, right? Maybe you want to go to a place that doesn't have music. You want to read a book. And so you don't want that atmosphere of being able to hear it in the background. They don't have that today. Also, a freshwater pool where you have access to the pool. It's maybe a swim up bar. It's the zero entry, option where you can just hang in a pool for those people that don't like sand, yours truly. There could be some options like that. I don't know if there's the infrastructure there to do that or not, but, there's a lot of options that Royal has explored that I have not seen Disney take advantage of. So there's definitely some room for improvement. Different food, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want cheeseburgers and hot dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that menu at this point is 30 years old.
Right. Exactly.
We can change, keep that, but add a few things.
Right.
Yeah.
Something else you might want at the beach. So, I think there could also, always, but you guys have had other opportunities. Like you've seen other stuff too. So what do you think they should add?
I think you're right on the freshwater option, although I don't know how amazing that would fit in with the rest of the theming of Castaway. Because it is supposedly, stuff that washed up and a bunch of castaways just, made their own little village there.
Swiss Family Robinson.
Well, true. Okay, fine.
True.
But
is that wrong?
I could see that happening at Lookout before it happened at at Castaway, and I think we saw some artist renderings that included like a water park kind of thing like Castaway Cay has.
Yeah.
Over at Lookout. It wasn't part of phase 1 that they've built out, but neither were like Lookout's supposed to have like twice as many cabanas as it does today. Like there's absolutely another phase or 2 of Lookout that we will see at some point in the future. And yeah, I think it needs that. They have to compete to a certain level, because families are going to be looking for that more go, have a water park option.
Right.
Adults like us are going to want to have a swim up bar, and that's not really feasible to do in the ocean. So,
I mean, I have had a server out on Serenity Bay bring me my beverage out in the water.
oh my gosh,
So-
that's amazing.
Literally, we were out there floating and we had ordered, and they saw us and they brought it out to us, and I was
Oh
like,
my
"This is the
gosh.
most amazing day ever!" Like,
That's
That's
a
it.
big tip right there.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
yeah,
With Disney getting all these other ships in the future, I would think they would need to do something more.
Yeah.
Maybe not specifically at Castaway. I don't know if that, like you said, Nathan, I don't know if that area can be developed more. I know that there is a bug problem at night
Yeah.
that may mess everything up.
I mean,
but
there were rumors that they were going to build like a DVC resort on the island at one point back in the day, and then discovered how horrible it was with bugs at night, and we're like, no. I mean, this is why the ships don't hang around too long after 5 o'clock, because it, now this is just rumor, but
But Lookout is tied to an island that has, population and other private beaches for other cruise lines. So
it has
I think there's
infrastructure.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
infrastructure. Yeah.
there's the ability to do it.
Yeah.
I will say this is totally off subject, but one of my favorite things, I think we did this on our first cruise. Get up really early on Castaway morning and sit out on a top deck or a veranda, wherever you want to sit, but go on the side that it's going to dock on and watch what happens. Like, it's mind boggling the fact that the island is sourced, or basically stocked by the ship, right?
Yeah.
So they take off all the food, they take off all of the people, they take off everything. And so there's forklifts, and it looks like, we call it like a ants go marching. Like, it's just craziness.
Yeah.
And then forklifts and tractors and trailers and the whole 9 yards, and then you see all the crew get off and they go in their respective ways, and some of them have to walk and some of them get a ride. Like, you can watch them all, and then they come out and they put up these pretty tents, and they bring out the fresh towels, and they bring out the bottles of water, and they're like, okay, now we want to welcome you to the island. And you're like, but what just happened? Like, what?
Yeah, there was just the army.
Yeah, it's like little ants marching. It's really fun to watch and see. And then you get to go explore the island. So
what
totally
blows my mind is, originally when it was just the Magic and Wonder, they were fully staffing the island from the ship every time it visited. Like, there was no dorm on the island. I think there maybe was like a shack that they had like a handful of people that were there all the time, but now there's like 140 or 150 people who live kind of semi-permanently on the island, and it makes more sense. But
mostly lifeguards.
Yeah, I think, and the tram drivers and some of the other kind of like logistical folks.
People that clean it up after. Get it ready for the next day. Yeah.
Make it look like no one was there yesterday. It's like magic.
Right. I was actually looking at the calendar. There's only a handful of days a month when there's not a ship there now. Like,
I mean, times be a changing.
Yeah,
exactly.
When they have more fleet coming, I mean, what are they going to do?
Yep. All right, Rachel, are there any plans for you to visit Disney's newest destination? We're talking about Lookout Cay. We're talking about Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point.
So I don't have anything booked today. So thanks for that reminder. I did plant a seed with some of my girlfriends to say we should just do like a 3-day girls trip.
Nice.
And if it happens to go to the new island, I'm okay with it. So I've kind of planted the seed, and we'll see where that takes us. But right now, I don't have anything planned. I'm very sad about it. I know you do.
We do.
We do.
We do. You want to tell me where you're going?
We'll be there in November. We are on the Magic from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then it stops at, then there's a sea day, a stop at Lighthouse Point, a stop at Castaway, and then a sea day, and then we get off in Galveston.
Yep.
Oh, Texas. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the repositioning.
Yeah.
And I am really excited because it's the small ship. It's the original, Magic.
We haven't been on it since 2009.
Right. It's 2,700 guests max, not 4,000 max.
Yeah.
And as a repositioning cruise, it's in the middle of November. Like, I don't think the ship's going to be full anyway.
True.
The island's going to be amazing. We're also going to be in concierge. So we're probably going to, because for content, this is the sacrifices we make. We're going to do a cabana on both islands so we can compare and contrast.
We got to compare and contrast.
You have a cabana on each island?
We're going to.
We will. Yeah. 100%. Rachel, do I need to send you the cruise dates?
I think you already did, but listen.
And it's before the Thanksgiving rush, because there's a lot of people that vacation the week of Thanksgiving. This is before all that.
Right.
And it's just me and Nathan.
Yeah. There's probably the bunk available in our room, Rachel, if you want to come along.
I mean, what size concierge room did you get?
I think that one's just a regular veranda room.
It's just the family. Yep.
Yeah. And then we're on the Magic again in February, out of Galveston to Progresso and Cozumel. And that one we got a 1-bedroom because we got Sterling with us. So,
okay.
Although I did,
bougie.
Nathan, I did take a look and see what the treasure dates were. Just because.
Just because.
What?
Well, we missed the treasure so much already.
Alicia really wants to get on the treasure.
For like 2 months.
I know. I want to go back on. And we don't have any plans to go on the treasure until like 2 years from now, I think.
Yeah. We're going to do a back-to-back, I think, summer of 27.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Okay. Just, can you add it to the calendar?
Absolutely. We'll let you know. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
If y'all haven't figured it out, we're kind of a bougie crowd here, but we absolutely do love Castaway and the beach and all of things Disney. So thank you.
Please remember, we are not affiliated with Disney or their subsidiaries. These are personal opinions and suggestions based on our own experiences. We recommend working with a travel agent or contacting Disney directly to plan your perfect vacation.
If you have questions or suggestions or would like to be interviewed on our show to share your Disney experience, please send an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
You can follow us on socials. We are at Our Mousecapades. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube.
Please do give us a rating and review in your podcast app. That really helps people find us.
And of course, don't hesitate to share us with your friends and fellow Disney lovers of all ages.
Thanks for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.
Okay, you were going to say something else.
Do your ending.
Oh, we already did.
Oh, we already did.
We recorded it early.
We haven't recorded. It's in the
Okay,
can.
perfect. Then you're done. Okay, perfect.
Do you want me to hit stop then?
Say, I told Bill I wanted my ashes spread at Castaway.
Hold on. Let me. For legal purposes, she's kidding. Seriously, don't leave your ashes on Castaway. It's not cool. And don't do that on Haunted Mansion either. Somebody has to clean that up. Just don't. Yeah. Anyhow, bye.